Welcome to Behind Case Audio, where we unravel the darkest corners of true crime stories from around the globe. Today, we're diving into a chilling case from April 8th, 2010, in Dongshan Village, Dongying City, Shandong Province, a tale of forbidden desire, betrayal, and a gruesome discovery that shook a quiet community to its core. This is the story of Zhang Tioman, a young woman whose life was cut short in a shocking act of violence and the tangled web of relationships that led to her murder. It was a swelteringly unbearable afternoon in Dongshan, the kind of day where the air felt thick enough to choke on. Huang Jiang, a weary truck driver hauling cargo through the rural outskirts, pulled his rig to the side of a lonely stretch of road. Nature was calling, and he needed a secluded spot to answer it. His eyes landed on a dense patch of reeds swaying in the faint breeze, just off the road. A perfect place to slip out of sight. As Huang Jiang pushed through the reeds, a foul stench hit him like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just the usual rot of roadside trash. This was something far worse, something sinister. Curiosity tugged at him, overriding the nausea creeping up his throat. He scanned the area, his boots crunching against the dry earth, until his gaze locked onto a bloated, woven sack nestled among the reeds, barely 10 meters away. Flies buzzed in a frenzied swarm around it, their droning hum amplifying the dread pooling in his chest. Huang Jiang's heart pounded as he approached. He half expected to find a dead animal inside, maybe a stray dog or some discarded livestock, but a gnawing instinct told him this was no ordinary find. Steeling himself, he crouched down, held his breath against the stench, and pried open the sack. What he saw sent him staggering back in horror. A human body, grotesque and decomposing, its features unrecognizable under the ravages of time and decay. Panicked, he fumbled for his phone and dialed the police, his voice trembling as he reported the unthinkable. Within minutes, the quiet reed field transformed into a hive of activity. Police cordoned off the area, their faces grim as they worked under the oppressive heat. 2 forensic experts arrived, carefully extracting the body from the sack. The victim was female, her nightgown and long hair the only clues to her identity. The body was in an advanced state of decomposition, making visual identification impossible. Forensic analysis later revealed she was around 20 years old, about 1.63 meters tall, and had been dead for roughly 8 months, since August 2009. The cause of death? Strangulation, with no signs of sharp weapons or poison. The location itself spoke volumes. The reed field, a makeshift dumping ground for passers-by, was just 50 meters from the main road, but hidden by towering stalks that reached head-high. It was a clever choice, too obscure for casual visitors, yet close enough for someone familiar with the area to use as a dumping site. The police theorized the killer was likely a local or someone who'd lived in Dongshan long enough to know its secrets. But with no immediate leads on the victim's identity, the investigation faced a daunting challenge. The community of Dongshan was small, tight-knit, and now buzzing with fear. Whispers spread like wildfire. Who was the woman in the reeds? Was the killer among them? One villager, Li Jianton, mentioned seeing the sack in the reeds for weeks, assuming it was just trash. No one had thought to investigate the stench until Huang Jiang's grim discovery. The police scoured the scene for clues, finding a cheap stainless steel necklace on the victim, worth only 15 to 20 yuan, hinting at her modest circumstances. Was she a student? A young worker? The necklace offered little, but it was a start. Then came a breakthrough. A cracked Huawei phone found just 3 meters from the sack. Its black casing was scuffed, the screen shattered. But it was a potential gold mine. Was it the victims? The killers? Or just another piece of discarded junk? The Reed Field's reputation as a dumping ground complicated things. Locals often toss trash there without a second thought. Still, the phone's condition suggested it hadn't been there long. The police sent it to a specialist, hoping to recover data from its waterlogged SIM card. But early attempts failed. Time was slipping away. While waiting for answers, the police cast a wider net, broadcasting details of the case across local media. They hoped someone would come forward with information about a missing loved one. Meanwhile, they investigated recent missing persons cases in Dongshan. One name surfaced, Hwang An-ni, a 23-year-old who vanished in September 2009. Her family lived just a kilometer from the Reed Field, and her disappearance had sparked local gossip about their troubled household. Rumors swirled that her brother, Hwang An-fi, had also left town shortly after. The police visited the Hwang family, expecting answers. But Hwang An-vien, An-ni's father, was strangely defensive. Before they could even explain the case, he insisted the body wasn't his daughter's. His certainty raised red flags. Under pressure, he revealed a shocking truth. An-ni wasn't missing. Her disappearance was a ruse to escape loan sharks after racking up gambling debts. She was hiding in a distant temple, and her brother had left to earn money to pay off her creditors. It was a dead end, but it painted a vivid picture of a community rife with secrets. Undeterred, the police expanded their search to nearby villages. In Changfeng, a woman named Miu Lin Dam reported another missing person. Chi Lan, a young worker who'd lived in an abandoned house near her farm. Chi Lan had vanished abruptly 6 months earlier, around the same time as the estimated time of death. She'd been seen with a boyfriend, their relationship marked by loud arguments. But when police tracked Chi Lan to Shanghai, she was alive and well, another lead gone cold. The investigation hit a wall, days turned into weeks, and the pressure mounted. The recovered SIM card from the Huawei phone finally yielded a name. Tran Vitu, a 22-year-old from Hebei province. But Tran was alive, her phone stolen months earlier while visiting Dongying. The theft, while unrelated, hinted at a broader criminal element in the area. Could the thief be connected to the murder? The police chased the theory, but found no solid leads. The victim's nightgown, a mass-produced item sold everywhere, offered no clues either. Just when hope seemed lost, a call came from Changlei County on April 24, 2010. Zhang Guangquang, 54, had reported his daughter, Zhang Tiu, Man missing in August 2009. Her age and height matched the victim's profile. When police showed Zhang's wife, Dao Dinvan, the necklace found on the body, she broke down, recognizing it as a birthday gift she'd given her daughter. DNA tests confirmed the heartbreaking truth. The body in the reeds was Zhang Tiu Man, a 20-year-old university student from Changlei. Tiu Man's story began to unfold. A reserved young woman, she was in her final year at a university in Yantai. In August 2009, she'd moved to Dongying for an internship at Tuongfat, a garment company. Her parents knew little about her life there. She'd told them she was staying with a friend and not to worry. Independent and private, Tuman rarely shared details, even with her closest friend, Lu Huimai. But Huimai revealed a key detail. Tuman had recently ended a 3-year relationship with Thach Toan Trung, a 25-year-old programmer. Thach Toan Trung's interrogation was tense. He admitted to a tumultuous breakup with Teo Man, who'd wanted to end things before moving to Dongying. He'd tried to win her back, but she'd grown distant, eventually revealing she had a new boyfriend, a man in his 30s who worked at Tuong Pat. Their final meeting, in a Dongying park, ended with Teo Man leaving with this new man, their affection obvious. Trung's evasive demeanor and reluctance to share his phone raised suspicions, but his messages with Teo Man showed only unrequited longing, not guilt.
The new boyfriend became the focus. Co-workers at Tuong Pat described a man in his 30s, balding, about 1.65 meters tall, who frequently picked Teo Man up from work. He didn't seem like a manager, more like a laborer. Security footage revealed his motorcycle's license plate, leading police to Ngui Hai Fong, a 33-year-old local with a checkered past. A former soldier discharged for misconduct, Fong was known for his erratic behavior and frequent job changes. Villagers viewed him as unreliable, even dangerous. A villager, Quach Lam, dropped a bombshell. Ngui Hai Fong had been dating Hiu Tui, Teo Man's cousin. When Teo Man came to Dongying for her internship, she stayed with Hiu Tui and Fong. Quach Lam had seen Fong and Teo Man in an intimate embrace, suggesting an affair. Shockingly, Fong had told others Teo Man had returned to Changlei, yet her body was found in Dongshan. The timeline grew chilling. Fong had vanished from the village around the time the body was discovered. A manhunt ensued, posters with Fong's face plastered Dongying. On a tip from Tanju police, authorities found him in a crowded tenement. When confronted, Fong feigned surprise, but his composure cracked under questioning. In the interrogation room, he confessed, his voice trembling as he unraveled the twisted events leading to Teo Man's death. Fong's story began with Hiu Tui, his devoted girlfriend. They dreamed of marriage, but her parents disapproved, citing his unstable job history and a past conviction for fraud. In August 2009, Hiu Tui invited her cousin, Teo Man, to stay with them while she interned in Dongying. Fong, eager to please, welcomed Teo Man, even helping her settle in. Over dinners and late-night chats, a dangerous attraction sparked. One night, with Hiu Tui away and alcohol flowing, Fong and Teo Man crossed a line, their drunken encounter igniting a forbidden affair. Hiu Tui's pregnancy complicated things. Her parents, already hostile, demanded she leave Fong. Desperate and humiliated, Fong turned to Teo Man for comfort, borrowing money and continuing their affair behind Hiu Tui's back. But Teo Man grew possessive, believing Fong loved her. When he tried to end things, she lashed out, threatening to tell Hiu Tui everything. In a drunken rage, Fong grabbed her throat, shoving her against a table. He didn't know how long he held on, only that when he stopped, Teo Man was dead. Terrified, Fong acted fast. He stuffed Teo Man's body into a woven sack and, under cover of night, dumped it in the reed field, banking on its obscurity. For months he lived a double life, lying to Hiu Tui and the village while evading suspicion. But his web of deceit unraveled when Huang Jiang stumbled across the sack. Ngui Hai Fong was convicted of murder and sentenced to death, his fleeting moment of rage costing him everything. This case is a stark reminder of how unchecked emotions, lust, anger, desperation, can spiral into tragedy. Alcohol and impulsivity turned a fleeting affair into a brutal crime, leaving a family shattered and a community haunted. Ngui Hai Fong's story warns us to confront our demons before they consume us, to think twice before letting passion override reason. What are your thoughts on this harrowing tale? Share them below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Behind Case Audio for more gripping true crime stories.